We are living through a period of time where disasters are becoming more and more common, and you all are the front line in helping communities respond. So this project is funded by AmeriCorps, and the goal of the project is to understand people who are serving and the experiences you have and what you want to get out of it and what you're planning on doing with it. I'm a sociologist. I do research that involves both surveys along with I do focus groups and interviews. I want AmeriCorps to be successful in helping people really build a civic fabric in their communities. We're here because we are doing a site visit for the work we're doing around Service Corps, and I thought we would go over the plans for the day. We're going to do a site visit and we're going to do focus groups and surveys. So the site visit part is first. The folks who are hosting us at the Washington Conservation Corps have been very nice to set up a whole day of site visits for us. So we are going to go to 2 different places. The area around here was hit with floods last summer because of the atmospheric river, and so they specifically are talking with us about the work they did around the disaster response recovery and the ways that they're working to build resilience in the communities here. One of the things that I think is important to understand is this kind of work, disaster work, it doesn't look the same everywhere. Based on the analysis we've done from data from last year, what we're finding is the states that are committed to these kinds of programs are the ones that actually sustain people and are able to channel people into long-term service. Our job is to observe, but then tomorrow is when we actually ask questions and we get the data.
WCC started in response to a large number of young adults being laid off in the 80s from their logging jobs. Washington State's response was to create a job training program. It was called Washington Conservation Corps. We started partnering with AmeriCorps in 1994 so that we could offer even more support for the members coming through this job training program.
Remind us how many people are in the WCC right now?
We have 250 core members and then another about 70 staff. There's a lot going on here today. We've got the site visits that we have planned for you, and then we'll also be able to walk through and show you the auditorium space where you'll be working tomorrow morning and that kind of stuff.
This culture of service, this culture of giving back to community while skill building is very much ingrained in who we are today. Day to day, members are learning plant ID and restoration techniques or water management on trails, but also through those partnerships, we're actually building community and networking opportunities.
Project site that we're at today is an easement that the Skagit Land Trust looks over. This is the only trail system on Samish Island. This project had a lot of funding and support from people who use the trail because the locals here do get outside on this trail quite a bit. This is like one of their only recreation sites around here, so it has a lot of land use and land access from locals.
We are stripping the bark off these cedar logs. It's gonna be the first thing that rots first, so if the bark is on our trail logs, that's gonna start rotting away faster than the inner stuff.
And it looks nice.
And it looks nice.
I've always wanted to work in conservation. I've pretty much always known that I wanted to do something outside to help our planet. I've always wanted to be able to be a person who's on the front lines giving back.
So this is all of the wood shavings from the cedars that we cut down for the walkway bridges, and obviously that leaves a bit of a mess. The best part of this job is that we all have each other, so when we're out here for like 10 hours and we're like in the rain and it's pouring and it's really hard, like we're all just cracking jokes, and I think it's also cool to see how small of an impact and how big of an impact you can make and like how it all adds up.
At Whatcom County, you're looking at Sumas, where the town is underwater.
Emergency officials in Whatcom County called it the worst flooding since 1990, and more is still to come.
An estimated 500 people have been displaced from their homes in the county, and it's because of flooding like this.
We were partnering with Whatcom County. We were able to deploy a couple of crews to go out and assist.
Sumas, Everson, and Nooksack, those are the 3 towns that were primarily affected by the most recent flooding.
When we initially arrived, it was kind of chaos, but then when we arrived at the scene, that was when the emotions really took over and you see like the devastation in people's lives that are affected.
We're taking out the drywall of this garage. The flood water came up to about the second stair of this house.
We were called out mostly to help with what we call muck and gutting. Basically, when there's any water damage to somebody's home, you have to go in and remove any porous materials. We were there sometimes under people's houses, ripping out insulation from the rafters. Sometimes we were on the side of the road picking up trash bags and throwing them into the dumpster. Sometimes we were at the church helping pass out supplies to people that needed them. There's just a lot of moving parts on a disaster response, and every day's different.
I just want to thank all the volunteers and first responders. Living in a small community, you end up having the support you need when you need it, and just so thankful.
I think with any disaster, there's a lot of people who need help, and it's a matter of who can I help. I'm not going to be able to help every single person that is affected by this, so how can I help at least one? It is super inspiring to see people come together to help out one another in probably their hardest times ever.
There needs to be a team of people that are ready and willing to go out there and help people when they themselves are in an emotional situation that they can't handle.
I think what's exciting about this group is that there are like disaster response crews that have been deployed to different places. I really enjoyed hearing today about like the process by which those teams get deployed, like who needs to ask for that and why that's important, right? So like if the city asks for it, then they actually get reimbursed by the state to do that work. But if they self-deploy, so like they decide to go without that ask, then they might not get funding for it. It's an interesting decision you have to make.
I'm really curious to hear how it goes during our focus groups tomorrow. That'll be very interesting to see what kind of work they've done. I'm curious about if they feel like the work is qualitatively different when they do the work in their own home state, in their home area, versus if they're going into another place.
I'm also really interested to see what we get on the surveys, because we have a few new questions that we've never asked to a conservation corps before, which are your financial situation. Do you feel that disaster encouraged you to join conservation corps?
We're here to collect two forms of data, focus group data and survey data. The survey data is going to be quantitative. So this information is helping us learn about conservation workers, why they get involved, their demographics, their background, their education levels, how it shapes their lives.
We record their responses. We don't keep any identifying information, but it's important that we're able to transcribe what they say. And it's from that sort of collection of data that we can really get a sense of what it's like to actually be in the program, what they're struggling with, what has really benefited them, how the program has been really impactful for them. We'll take the transcripts of the data and we'll code them. And then using transcripts from the other focus groups that we collect over the next 2 months, we use that information to get a sense of what the patchwork of these core programs, how they're similar, how they're different, what people have really responded to in the different aspects of the program.
My research around climate change and around activism shows very clearly that we all need to build civic capacity and build community, because as the climate crisis worsens, it is what is available in your community that is going to save you or is going to leave you by yourself and alone with no one to help. We got good specific disaster stuff, which is nice.
I also thought it was cool that a lot of folks specifically talked about like the difference between doing local response and being deployed somewhere where they don't have any connections.
That's why we do the focus groups.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we'll have really interesting stuff from the surveys, but now we have the textured information about it and the observations from the people who've been there.
Yeah.
When I think about the critical nature of this work, the same metaphor keeps coming back to me, and it's a little bit this ripple effect. When you drop a pebble in the water and you have these different rings, whether it's statewide or just in a very small neighborhood, the impact is rippling out from that individual to crew, to community, to our local ecology. When I chat with members who are new to this line of work, they're so tired at the end of the day. And whether it's physical exhaustion or they had to work through a really challenging mental project, they can turn around and be like, I know I'm doing good.
It's a good day to be in Washington.
To me, conservation is vital. It's like a part of being a human, is being a steward to the land. And I think the more time I spend out here, the more I realize like how important it is in my life.
Nice pour. Thank you.
I think if I were to have one big goal for my life, I just want to leave this place a little better than I found it. And so I can't imagine having a job where I don't feel like I'm doing that. WCC is a great little corner of the world where every day I get to go home and feel like I made the world a little bit better.